Monday morning, folks, and welcome to a brand new episode of the FINMET Mondays podcast. Let's look into the US spot gold outlook and see what that has in store for us for today. So, Sunil, contrary to what we had discussed last week, we believe that after the metal hit 2837, this support over here with the first major support, we would see a little bit more of a correction and possibly a move down to 2800 levels. But that didn't happen. Immediately on Monday and Tuesday, we saw, I think, a $60-$70 run up crossing 2900, and we hit these highs of 2930 before we are sort of consolidating in this range between 2900 to 2930. Right now, one of the patterns that we obviously see emerging is a high over here, a low, then a lower high, and possibly the next leg, which remains to be seen, steeper low that we might be progressing. The fact that the metal was not able to retest 2957 all-time high is an indication of, let's say, exhausting momentum, and also maybe a lack of uncertainty over how fundamental factors are going to shape gold's outlook. Right? We have three consecutive periods of just, let's say, doji candlesticks that we see, where there's not much action. There's a lot of sideways action. You don't see a move up. You don't see a move down, and this is a little bit of indecision in the markets. Right? If I have to paint the picture for this week, the levels that we should be watching out for are firstly the 2880 level. If the metal retreats and breaks below this level, it would be considered as a first sign of reversal that we will be seeing from a bearish perspective. We would need this level to be broken. Once 2880 is broken around this level, we would expect the metal to maybe consolidate or accelerate towards the first major support again at 2837, where it would retest this level. And further down, if it breaks 2837, then we need to expand our horizon of the price charts, where we look at from this high over here all the way to this low, what the levels are, and we might fall back on this 38.2% retracement somewhere around 2820. Technical levels don't indicate that gold is going to be rising further beyond 2930 levels, because we've seen exhaustion for two times now in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So I think the most likely trajectory is a move down this week. I want to talk about the shortage of gold, which is why we've seen flows coming into the US. What's the current situation right now in US with respect to movement of gold, physical gold currently?
So there was a lot of talk about shortage of gold. I think that was driven by the fact that it was taking time to get gold out from London into New York. But over the last few weeks, what has happened is a lot of the gold that was taken out from Bank of England and from the vaults has found its way into New York. Interestingly, right now, the total amount of gold held in New York is close to about 1,250 tons, which in my 25-year experience is probably some of the highest amounts that we've seen. Just to give you an idea, the total amount of short positions on futures are about 1,500 tons. Okay, 50 million ounces. And against that, almost 80% of that short position is matched by physical holdings. If you look at a normal futures market, which is when COMEX was in normal times, or if you look at MCX or even Shanghai futures, normally the amount of physical held is about 10 to 20% of the open interest. Now we're talking about 80%. And the reason, of course, that people are keeping gold in New York is because they don't know what's going to happen to tariffs. So if they have to deliver against the futures contract, they have metal available in New York, available which is not susceptible to tariffs. And so that's why people are being cautious. But that's going to become quite an issue, because to hold that much amount of gold, to pay warehousing charges, to fund it, etc., is quite difficult. So what we're going to see probably is by the first week of April, when there's some more clarity about long-term tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, etc., that's when I think people will realize, okay, it doesn't make sense for me to hold that much gold, and you'll start seeing gold coming out. So people in India should be, I think, aware that you're going to see a lot of metal coming out of London. Maybe it'll happen in April or May, and that's going to be, a situation, a time when you'll start seeing physical premiums coming down to normal levels, which predominantly they have, but you start even seeing discounts taking place because there's going to be that much physical metal in the market. But that's going to happen probably next month, around the middle of next month.
Let's see how the markets play out. But till then, thank you so much and goodbye.